silhouette. Come and be my view.
Welcome to Steel City News. Today, we took a stop down in North Huntington at the Norwin Hill Shopping Center for a car cruise, right in the parking lot of Excella Square at Norwin. We met a lot of really interesting car guys, looked at a lot of beautiful automobiles, and I learned a lot. So let's take a look. I'm down here at Excella Square in North Huntington, and we've got a car cruise that's just about to begin. So let's go check out some cars.
Whitey.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about your car?
It's a 34 Chevy 3-window coupe. I built it 20 years ago. It's got a big block Chevy, supercharger, 5-speed stick, top dot, and it's pretty quick.
Bunny Hill.
Okay, can you tell me about your car?
Well, it's a 1955 Ford Crown Victoria. I've had it 34 years. Bought it in the back row of a used car lot, and it was pretty much done. Needed everything, fenders, quarters, rockers, but it only has 57,000 original miles on it, so it was worth for me to rebuild it. My wife and I worked on it. It took me 2 years to get it on the road. It was red and white. I had it painted red and white a long time. I painted it all red about 6 years ago. But it's a good automobile. Drives good, runs good.
Jim Mastriani.
Okay, so tell me, what do you have down here?
My 1966 Pontiac GTO. It's all original except for the paint, original motor, original tranny, original rear end. That's basically why I bought the car, and it didn't look like this when I brought it home, but a few years, and then it was all done, and here I am.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. So can you tell me about, is that Greater Pittsburgh GTO?
Yeah, this is, I belong to the Greater Pittsburgh GTO Association. We're a member of the National GTO AA Association. 2014, we held the GTO Nationals in Monroeville, and we had cars from 28 states and Canada, and it was quite a thrill to put it on, and everyone enjoyed it. We had a great time. People are still talking about it from out of state.
Pete Muro.
Okay, so Pete, tell me what you have here. What's behind us?
I have a 1964 Pontiac GTO. It's the first year for GTOs, and this car came out of California, and it's a rare piece because it's an air-conditioned car. Most of the cars back in those days didn't have air conditioning, and I had it painted back in 1996, and it already has 70,000 miles on it, so it's in pretty good shape.
Sam Kistler from Harrison City.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about the car behind us?
Yeah, it's a 1973 Cuda. I purchased it in December in Phoenix, Arizona. Sent it to my son, who has a repair shop and paint shop up north. Got it back on Wednesday and out enjoying it today. That's a 2000 Plymouth Prowler, one of the last years of the Plymouths. After that, they were called the Chrysler Prowler. They're 6-cylinder. They're mostly an aluminum body. Wife loves it, enjoys it, and she tells everybody it's not a convertible because it would mess up her hair. Nobody's ever seen it with the top down.
Ray Eichelberger.
Okay, so can you tell me, what do we have behind us?
Yeah, well, I have a 68 Chevelle Malibu, but I got a lot of new parts on it that came from an original SS in the early 90s. It was stored away, and I redid it, and it's like an SS now, but it isn't. But my son and I totally restored the car in 2009. I finished it up, and it was completely torn apart, every nut and bolt and everything, and I had a 350 stroker motor I put into it, and so I've had it on the road since late 2009 now.
Ed Britz.
Scott Cornish.
Okay, so can you tell me about the cars that are behind us?
Well, this is a 1935 DeSoto Airflow. It was a car of the future. It was way ahead of its time, and it really didn't do well back in the 30s. But now they're popular, but there's not very many of them, you know. And it's modified. I put a 6.4 Hemi in it, and goes like hell. And this car here is a 48 Cadillac convertible that I built this several years ago. and the top's chopped. It's sectioned and it has air ride on it. It's just low to the ground. Got a 500 engine in it. Very good running car, I sold it to Scott. And Scott's enjoying it now. I had it for several years. Now it's his turn to enjoy it.
I'm Nick Dankovich from Norwin.
Okay. So can you tell me about what's behind us? This looks incredible.
This is a 1954 Chevy that started out being a regular 54 Chevy, but when I was a young kid, I used to go down to Pittsburgh International Dragway. They called it PID, and they all ran these kind of cars. So when I was 15, that's what I wanted. So here I am, 69, I have one. So it's a Chevrolet with a Chevy motor, and it's actually all Chevy parts. So it's old-fashioned, they call it a gasser, and they're getting popular now. So who knows, maybe they'll get more popular and we'll see them more often, because I think there's only one or two on the lot like this. So pretty unique.
Yeah, it definitely caught our attention from all the way down there, so it definitely gets attention.
You're too young, but right here, in our olden days, there was a little cartoon on there called Mighty Mouse.
Okay.
And he would always save the day.
I've heard of Mighty Mouse.
Right, well that's him. And in the hot rod world, if you have a big Chevy engine, it's a rat motor. And if you have a small Chevy engine, it's a mouse motor. So I put the Mighty Mouse paint. I had a girl paint that on there for me, and that's what it means.
Neil Grabiak.
Okay, so can you tell me what we have behind us?
We have a 1930 Model A Ford pickup. I've owned that thing since I was 15. I'm going to be 65 in January, so I've had it quite a few years.
So how long have you been coming down to this car cruise?
Right here at this place, probably 10 years at least, and it's a very nice cruise.
Dennis Pennington from
Okay.
Norwin.
Okay, can you tell us what we have behind us?
Yeah, it's a 1972 MGB GT.
Okay, so how long have you had this car?
About 5 years.
Okay. So what got you into the MG? Why the MG?
In high school, rode with a friend in an MGA. I have one of those to high school together. And then I have another MG beside me here. That's the kind I bought when I got out of Vietnam. And then they kind of find me. A friend that I had asked me to help him put it together, and I ended up buying it from him because he couldn't get it together and finished it off. I signed up for an auto body class down at the local Tech School in New Stanton, and I went there for 14 semesters and learned how to weld, do my own painting, so I totally restored the car myself. So did the painting and everything down at our local Tech, and it was, I loved the program down there and really enjoyed it.
Mark Dirtich.
Okay, can you tell me, what do we have behind us?
We have a 57 Chevy Gasser, stroked out 383, 4-speed car.
Okay, so how long have you had this car?
Just a couple years.
A few years. So now why this car? What got you into this car?
It's old school. It's old school, and I'm an old guy. So I'd like to go back to the 57 area and build that up and keep it going.
Lenny.
Okay, can you tell me, what do we have behind us?
An 87 Chevy Scottsdale.
Okay, so how long have you had this vehicle?
17 years.
17 years. So a lot of restoration, anything like that?
Not much. I bought it like that. All I did was take it apart and paint it.
So just good upkeeping, taking care of it.
It sits in the garage a lot.
Mike Kemeny from North Huntington.
Okay, so tell me about your car.
I have a 1984 Olds Cutlass Supreme. It's just a plain Cutlass with a custom paint job on it. And it was painted in 1992.
Okay, so how long have you had the car?
Since 1986.
Okay.
It is a 1984 Oldsmobile. It was bought locally at Courtesy Oldsmobile. And I've owned it for many years. It's now an antique in the family.
Okay, so what got you into cars?
Just love them.
Just a love for cars.
Just love of cars. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, trains, doesn't matter. Anything with wheels or flies. That's the way it goes.
Scott Trabb.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about Rolls Royce behind us?
Actually, this is a Bentley.
Oh, it's a Bentley.
Yeah, this is a 51 Bentley Mark VI. Now, the reason why a lot of people think of this as a Rolls Royce is because at the time, Bentley and Rolls Royce were owned by the same company. They were owned by Rolls Royce. So there was a model that was manufactured by Rolls Royce called the Silver Dawn that looked almost identical to this. So it's a common mistake that a lot of people make, Bentley versus Rolls Royce. But this is the Bentley version.
nice. So how long have you had this car?
I've had this car probably about 7-8 years now.
So what got you into the Bentley, the vintage?
Well, you know, what's interesting is I was always a Jaguar person, and I had started, our Jaguar club started doing some stuff with the Bentley and Rolls-Royce club here in Pittsburgh. And it's a marvelous club, wonderful people. And, you know, I said, you know, I really like these folks. I'd like to start doing some things with them. And I said, you know, I'd like to join your club, but I don't own a car. And they said, well, you don't need to own a car to join the club. So I said, well, all right. So I joined the club, and then little by little I started seeing cars that I liked, and I took the plunge. And now I own 6 of the Bentley and Rolls Royces.
Oh wow! So you have a lot of other cars like this too you bring to shows.
I do. I try here at this particular show to bring a different car every week so that people get a chance to see something different. So last week or the week before that, I brought a '56 Bentley. The week before that was an '08 Bentley, and the week before that was a '37 Rolls Royce.
We had a great time down here at Excella Square at Norwin, and we talked to so many people that have just some incredible cars. And I definitely have to say, as a young guy, I have learned so much about these classic cars. And I want to thank each and every person that took the time to talk to us, all of these car owners, to show us the beauty of these cars. And of course, the power that's under the hood of these cars. So we look forward to covering lots more car shows. But for today, that's it. Sean Hellman, Steel City News.
When I'm with you, mysterious brunettes, come and see the view, this beautiful sky. When I'm with you, be my silhouette, come and be my view.
If you like what we're doing by covering positive news and events in the greater Pittsburgh area, head over to our page, Steel City News, and give us a page like. Thanks for watching.